Hello, this is Elise Dalton reporting for Fox News. Today we have a story involving the concerns about the ozone layer. Part of the Earth's umbrella, the ozone layer, is under threat from chemicals that we use on Earth. This is depletion of the ozone layer. This thinning in the ozone layer can affect human, plant, and animal life. Ozone depletion is an erosion of the protected atmospheric level that protects Earth from UV rays. The ozone layer is crucial to survival, since these UV rays can harm life on Earth. Today, I will talk to the scientific community about the causes, effects, and possible solutions involving depletion of the ozone layer. The first person I will be talking to is Dr. Johnson. There are many things that affect the ozone. Could you name some?
Yes, one of the causes is CFCs. CFCs were the first chemicals we were aware of that were hazardous to the ozone.
My study has shown that CFCs are damaging the ozone. Where do these CFCs come from?
They were invented in the 1920s and have been used in many house appliances like refrigerators and air conditioners. They are inexpensive and non-toxic, and the chemical makeup does not break down easily, so they are long-lasting.
Why did they make CFCs?
CFCs were so useful and were made in large quantities. They are used in homes around the world in endless products, and the U.S. became the largest producer and exporter of CFCs. Unfortunately, it was 50 years before the scientific community noticed the damaging effects of the CFCs on the ozone layer.
What are the damaging effects?
When CFCs are released into the atmosphere, they move up into the stratosphere. This moving takes 10 years to reach the ozone layer.
What happens once they reach the ozone layer?
Normally, ozone is being constantly made and destroyed due to UV rays. Usually, there is a balance between the amount that is made and that which is destroyed. CFC, nitrogen oxides, and chlorine upset this balance, so more ozone is destroyed than is produced, thus creating a hole in the ozone. In certain conditions, the chlorine attacks ozone molecules, releasing chlorine atoms. These atoms attack themselves to ozone molecules, thus breaking down ozone molecules. In this process, scientists call the chlorine a catalyst. A catalyst makes the chemical reaction occur more quickly and doesn't get used up in the process. So a single chlorine atom can be used again and again, breaking down many ozone molecules.
Can you name some attackers of the ozone layer?
Definitely. Some attackers are nitrogen oxide and rocket fuels. An example of nitrogen oxide occurs when jets or aircraft engines burn fuel in the stratosphere. Rocket boosters of the space shuttle release hydrogen chloride, which affects ozone molecules. Each shuttle launch releases about 68 tons of hydrogen chloride.
Are there any other attackers of the ozone layer?
Oh, definitely. Pesticides and cleaning agents are some other examples. Hydrogen chloride is also released by volcanic eruptions. Farmers spray pesticides on their crops to kill pests such as insects and fungi. Some of these sprays contain a chemical called methyl bromide. The bromide part of these chemicals attacks the ozone. Bromides contain bromine, a gas similar to chlorine and fluorine. Methyl bromide destroys ozone 40 times more powerfully than CFCs. Dry cleaning uses chemicals called solvents to remove dirt from clothes without making them wet. Some of these chemicals release chlorine that damages the ozone even more.
Thank you for your input. My next guest is Kristen Bora. What are the possible effects on us humans due to the depletion of the ozone layer?
The ozone layer absorbs most of the dangerous ultraviolet rays. So, the more time a person spends in the sun, they're increasing the risks of getting skin cancer. Due to my research, there has been 70,000 cases of skin cancer each year. Also, the harmful ultraviolet rays can cause snow blindness. This causes a person only to see white, and their vision is very blurry, as if they were seeing snow. Another problem is that human food supply is being affected. The crops are being damaged, which causes farms to go out of business, which causes farmers to lose their profits. People who are mostly affected by the harmful ultraviolet rays are people who have asthma, bronchitis, and are the elderly.
What can we do to prevent the damaging effects of the UV rays?
On sunny days, you should wear a sunblock to protect your skin from the rays. Also, to protect your eyes, you should wear sunglasses so that you can be safe and stylish at the same time.
Other than affecting humans, what major impact does this have on animals?
Well, some animals' eyes are very sensitive to the harmful rays as well, which causes them to become blind. In the ocean habitats, food that animals eat, for example, like plankton, are being killed, and as a result, aquatic animals will starve and die. Animal life in Antarctica is also being affected. They are exposed to numerous amounts of radiation. Polar bears, for example, are losing their food supply because they eat fish, and fish are also dying.
What effect does the UV rays have on plants?
Because plants use the light for photosynthesis, they must be exposed to sunlight, so they really can't avoid the UV radiation. Plants have some protection against UV rays, however, but we don't know how long they can tolerate it.
Thank you for your input. Next, I'm talking to Dr. Cantor about possible solutions to ozone depletion. What are the government and scientists doing?
Okay, so for every problem, the public just wants immediate and simple answers. But the government and scientists have trouble dealing with the scientific uncertainty because theories change as the information gathered on a certain topic increases. So there's really no easy solution to a problem that's as serious and complicated as depletion of the ozone layer. And as you know, depletion of the ozone poses a huge threat to man because some scientists believe that the depletion of the ozone layer is a natural occurrence due to the rotation and orbit of the Earth. During certain parts of the year, like winter, the Earth has limited exposure to the sun's UV rays, and these UV rays are usually what help to produce the ozone layer. In the Arctic and Antarctic regions, there are low levels of ozone in the stratosphere due to this lack of UV rays. And this thinning of the ozone is often referred to by scientists as the ozone hole.
What do you think of the natural theory?
Well, despite the theory of naturally occurring ozone depletion, which is above the Arctic and Antarctic regions, there is thinning of the ozone layer as well in the areas above the US and parts of Europe. So in these areas, large amounts of chlorofluorocarbons, or CFCs, are produced, which are the main sources of ozone depletion. But when CFCs or other chemicals that destroy the ozone are released into a certain area, they affect the entire ozone over the globe and not just that one area. So we can only begin to address this problem, and the first step is to eliminate or at least decrease the amount of CFCs.
How difficult do you think that will be?
Well, eliminating CFCs has already proved to be extremely difficult. Millions of people all over the world use CFCs in their daily lives. So try to imagine all the houses and apartments in the entire country, and then imagine all these homes having numerous CFC products like refrigerators or air conditioners. And then our homes and cars are kept cool through CFCs. So pillows, carpet padding, foam insulation, and packaging products are even more uses that CFCs create, or at least produced by them. So CFCs are so common that solving the problem of depletion of the ozone layer means getting rid of all these products that pertain to CFCs, and that require a lot of cooperation and volunteering to help in this effort.
Are there any documents to help this problem?
Well, the U.S. and other nations met in 1987 in order to discuss this problem of depletion of the ozone layer, and the result was the Montreal Protocol. And the protocol banned the production and the use of CFCs internationally, but it started waning it down to a smaller amount of CFCs. And it was revised in 1990, and in 1995, more nations took steps to reduce ozone depletion. They predict that by 2030, CFCs will stop altogether.
Can CFCs be recycled?
Yes, they can be recycled. For example, a considerable source of CFCs is a refrigerator. So refrigerators, their CFCs can be recycled so that less CFCs are produced. And a way of recycling these CFCs is to obtain the chemicals in old and discarded refrigerators instead of letting the CFCs leak into the atmosphere. These CFCs from the old refrigerators are then used in new refrigerators. And in addition, you can also fix old refrigerators and make sure that yours isn't leaking CFCs into the atmosphere.
Can products be redesigned?
Yeah, products that use CFCs can be redesigned so that they don't use CFCs. And the majority of refrigerators today use a piston pump and a coolant. And the pump,
Okay, well, we just have to start from that question.
Yes,
Thank God.
ask that question again.
Can products be redesigned?
Yes, they can be redesigned so that they don't use CFCs. The majority of refrigerators today use a piston pump and a coolant, which is a CFC. But the pump compresses the coolant, changing it from a gas to a liquid, and then the liquid travels through tubes absorbing the heat from its surroundings and cooling the refrigerator. However, a new type of refrigerator uses a pump that was designed in 1816 by Robert Stirling. The coolant inside the pump is helium, which is not a CFC, so the pump cools more efficiently and runs silently.
What are companies that produce CFCs doing about the problem?
Well, many companies have discovered natural substitutes for CFCs. For example, AT&T now uses chemicals that are found in cantaloupes, peaches, and plums, and these chemicals replace the CFCs used for cleaning computer chips. And in addition, another U.S. company replaced CFCs used in manufacturing electronic circuit boards for military fighter jets. They use lemon juice now. So many of these tactics can be transferred to other CFC products.
Now that we know what companies and the government are doing to prevent the depletion of ozone, what can we do ourselves to help in this effort? Certainly participating in recycling and buying products that don't contain CFCs would help the effort.
Yeah, that would help, but also we should spread the word about the ozone and all its benefits to us. And we should also organize educational sessions to help inform others about the ozone problem. We can petition our government to reduce the number of high-altitude flying aircrafts and rocket flights. This will help decrease the use of oxygen, and it will also reduce the formation of water vapor, and these things will contribute to ozone depletion. Growing plants and trees that release oxygen will also be helpful to the ozone because the ozone is made of a special type of oxygen. We should also walk or bike instead of driving because driving releases harmful gases to the ozone. Okay, so reducing the amount of energy helps reduce ozone destruction.
What solution should the world take action on?
So not one of these things would be beneficial, but if we combine all of these things, I think we can make a difference. So with help from some companies, we should try to combine all of our steps with their steps in science. So companies have developed a new chemical that destroys CFCs, and the byproducts are harmless. So although that one thing isn't enough by releasing this chemical, we can also try creating ozone and sending it up, and we could create an additional stream of UV rays, and that would help create the ozone because it forms a type of oxygen that makes up it. And although only one of these would not help the ozone, I think that if we do combine all of these actions, what we can do, what the government can do, and what companies can do, it will at least help to prevent the destruction of the ozone layer.
Thank you very much for your possible ideas for solutions.
You're welcome.
Today we have listened to many factors and solutions pertaining to depletion of the ozone layer. We have serious problems to consider, but I think if we all work together, we can solve this problem, if there is one. You make the decision. I'm Elise Dalton of Fox News. Thank you for joining us.
Some attackers are judging.
I didn't even ask you the question.
Do you put it there?
I don't.
I can't read it. Okay. Ask me the question, Phyllis. Wait.
Please take those.
Ooh.
I can't get up and get left off
Now give them back.
I took them out. No, I haven't.
Depleted.
It's
so exciting.
and rainbows.
In regard to depletion of the ozone layer, what is the government and scientists doing?
Is that really the first question?
Yes.